I am Adam, and this is my story when I realized what I had lost. The moment did not come all at once. It crept in, quiet at first, like a shadow stretching longer than it should. I remember the garden that day. The light was still there, but it felt different. The air, once warm and full, pressed against my skin in a way I had never known. I stood still, listening. I had always heard everything clearly. The wind through the leaves, the gentle movement of life all around me. But now there was a break in it, a silence that did not belong. I looked at my hands. They were the same hands that had named the animals, that had touched the ground without fear, that had held her, Eve, with joy and certainty. But now they trembled, not from cold, not from effort. Something inside me had shifted, and I could not steady it. I replayed the moment again and again. Her voice, the fruit in her hand, the way she looked at me, not with fear, but with urgency. I felt the pull of two things at once. I knew the command. It was clear, simple, and unbroken. But I also felt the weight of her presence, the bond we shared. I did not want distance between us. I did not want to stand apart, so I chose. I reached. I took. The taste was not what I expected. It was ordinary. That is what unsettled me most. Something so small, so simple, and yet, as I swallowed, something inside me cracked open. My eyes changed before I could understand what I was seeing. I became aware of myself in a way I had never been. Exposed. Uncovered. I stepped back, instinctively, as if something had seen me, though no one stood there. My chest tightened. I looked at her, and she looked at me, and for the first time, there was something between us that had never existed before. We moved quickly, without speaking. Leaves, branches. Our hands worked fast, almost desperate. I had never needed to cover myself. The garden had never required it. But now I felt it, an awareness that would not go away. I tied the leaves together, pressing them close, but it did not remove the feeling. It only reminded me that something had changed. Then I heard it. The sound I had always known. The sound that once brought peace now sent a sharp jolt through my body. I froze. My breath shortened. Every instinct told me to go toward him, as I always had. But something else rose stronger. Fear. I stepped back. Then again. Until I found myself moving away, deeper into the trees. I hid. The ground beneath my feet felt different, harder, the air heavier. I pressed myself behind the trees, holding my breath as if silence could erase what had been done. But it did not. Then his voice came. "Where are you?" The words were simple, but they carried a weight I had never felt before. He had always known where I was. Always. But now the question exposed me. I opened my mouth, but my voice caught. I swallowed hard, forcing the words out. "I heard you in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid." The words sounded foreign as I spoke them. Afraid. I had never used that word before. Not like this. It settled over me, heavy and real. Another question followed. Direct. Unavoidable. "Have you eaten from the tree I commanded you not to eat from?" My mind moved quickly, searching for something, anything, to lessen the weight pressing down on me. I felt it rise in my chest before I could stop it. "The woman you put here with me, she gave me some fruit from the tree, and I ate it." Even as I said it, I felt the distance grow, not just between me and him, but between me and her. The words did not fix anything. They only revealed more of what had been broken. Silence followed. Not empty, but full. Full of everything I had just done. Everything I could not undo. Then came the words of consequence. They were clear, measured, unchanged by my reaction. The ground I had once worked with ease would resist me. My body, once strong without effort, would strain. Sweat would replace ease. Labor would replace peace. I felt it before I even moved. The weight of it settled into my muscles, into my breath. The ground itself seemed to answer differently when I shifted my foot. It was no longer just a place of life. It would now demand something from me. I looked around the garden. Everything was still there, the trees, the rivers, the beauty. But I could no longer receive it the same way. It was as if a barrier had formed, not around the garden, but within me. I could see it, but I could not fully enter it the way I once had. Then came the moment I could not escape. We were let out. Step by step, I moved away from the place that had defined everything I knew. Each step felt heavier than the last. I turned once, just once, to look back. The entrance stood behind me, guarded, closed. I stood there, unable to move for a moment. My chest rose and fell, uneven. My hands clenched at my sides. It was not just a place I had lost. It was the nearness, the ease, the unbroken connection, the sound of his presence without fear, the ability to stand without hiding, the certainty that nothing stood between us. Now I knew. The ground had not just received me, it had taken something from me, something I could not reclaim with effort, with words, or with time. I lowered my head, feeling the full weight of it settle in. And for the first time, I understood what it meant to lose something you were never meant to lose. The reference scripture is Genesis 3:6-24.